Hey, good morning, everyone. From Carolina Weather Authority, I am meteorologist Joshua Nagelberg. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are looking to get to 1,000 subscribers or more. That way we can go live with you guys on YouTube and answer all of your questions. We are still dealing with the threat for millions to be put in harm's way from Isaias. Some good news, bad news here. The good news is that Isaias did not strengthen and remains a strong tropical storm. The bad news is that the track takes it across a path that could cause flooding for millions. And I'm going to give you more on that in a little bit. Please check us out at Carolina WX, that is William and X-ray, and then authority.com for the latest on Isaias, and our Facebook page as well will tell you more. In the tropics, this is Isaias between Florida and the Northwest Bahamas. We have another disturbance that models are now being run on, but nothing I'm really that concerned with. The remains of Tropical Depression 10 falling apart here, and another tropical wave getting ready to come off of Africa. But really, Isaias is the only thing on the map at this point. And here you can see Isaias with 65-mile-per-hour winds as of 8 in the morning Sunday. 60% of development for the disturbance behind it, mostly in here. It actually could fall apart up in here. And real quick, I'll show you that. Nothing that we're really concerned with because it's just not very organized. Models do take it northwest and then either kill it off here or turn it to the right between the Outer Banks and Bermuda. Look at Isaias. We continue to see a storm with 65-mile-per-hour wind that isn't weakening anymore. Tropical storm warnings from much of Florida all the way up to South Carolina, with a tropical storm watch up to North Carolina. And this will probably get expanded northward as we get to tonight. Here is a radar image from the Bahamas showing a big loop from when Isaias was a hurricane coming up to the south of the Bahamas. It actually looked its best here on Friday, and then Saturday morning the wind shear got to it and produced a ton of rain, by the way, along and east of its track. When it went over the Andros Islands, though, it fell apart because of more wind shear, not because of the land interaction. And the central core right here is now slowing down quite a bit, with all of the rain off to the east of the center, which is good news for Florida, by the way, right now. Satellite image does show that thunderstorms have continued to blossom east of the center. A little bit of an eye-like feature at this point, but you can see the western part of the storm still getting westerly shear, and that's keeping this thing from strengthening right now. Recon have been flying through the system. They've seen that it's kind of slowed down quite a bit and kind of made just a bit of a right adjustment to its center. Winds are very light around the center, by the way, and to the west. All the strong winds have been off to the north and east of the center, which is a great sign if you're in Florida, by the way. But there's still a window for this thing to intensify if it stays far enough offshore, which right now, from what we're seeing on our latest model tracks, that looks to be more and more likely now that it's not going to directly hit Florida, but it's going to ride the coastline. And then at 24 hours, which is 8 a.m. on Monday, it should start to pull away from the coast. We still have some timing uncertainty. We have a good track here, I think, right in the middle of this. But 48-hour point for Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. is anywhere from just inland of the Carolina coastline to offshore Virginia. So that's a very big difference in our models. It's something we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on. The slower track gives it a little more time over warm water, maybe a slight chance to develop into a hurricane. But also means more flooding rainfall potential along and just to the west of the track of the system as it grows in size. Intensity forecast, most of our models show this thing maybe trying to gain a little bit more steam back tonight and tomorrow, and then starts to weaken after landfall. Just a couple models show Category 1, but mostly we're thinking tropical storm at this point. The Global Ensemble Forecast System does a pretty good job of agreeing on the track, but it's too weak on the pressure, so that's also something to keep an eye on. Most of our global models, like the GFS, keep this thing a strong tropical storm east of Charleston and coming up to near the Carolina border and then accelerating late Monday night, Tuesday morning, all the way up into the mid-Atlantic states. So let's take a look at wind shear, and this is the main reason our system just has not gotten a chance to really intensify. It's been fighting westerly and southwesterly wind shear for a while, and the models, I'm going to be honest with you, we thought that this thing could hold on to hurricane strength because the models showed that happening, but they under-forecasted the amount of wind shear that was out there from this trough to its west. And now that the models have been running data that the planes have been flying through nonstop over the last couple of days, they now finally see it happening. And that's the reason we just haven't gotten this thing to really get going. You can see the wind shear remains unfavorable today for any kind of development. It does get a little bit better tonight, tomorrow, but may be a little too late. So the other thing I want to tell you guys about is the threat for flooding inland. We're likely to see some wind action, which could cause a bit of damage east of the center. So lower North Carolina likely to see the most wind as this thing comes inland. But the heaviest rain threat is actually going to be along and west of the track. It does include Fayetteville, Raleigh, Florence, Myrtle Beach, Charleston, and then eventually I think these flood watches go all the way up into the interior northeast, getting up to Baltimore, Richmond, Philadelphia, maybe New York City, but probably more likely upstate New York and into western New England. I think millions are going to be impacted by these flood watches, maybe 50 million people. And that's going to be our main threat. Although the system is going to be accelerating, it's going to have a ton of tropical moisture with it. This is Tuesday, and you can see the flood threat is relatively high in the morning, at least, from Richmond down to Raleigh. And then in the afternoon, evening, farther up towards Maine and New Hampshire. So if you have family up north, they could have some flooding problems. Model guidance shows this heavy rain area 3 to 6 inches widespread from just south of Charleston near Savannah all the way up through Raleigh, Richmond, and carrying through Philadelphia, Baltimore, and up into western New England. The European model a little bit farther west over the Carolinas with the heaviest rain. Same goes for Virginia. This is actually better news for the Outer Banks, but we could still have some heavy rain and some onshore surge and maybe a tornado threat places like Wilmington and New Bern. And the Inner Banks and maybe up through Virginia Beach and Norfolk, we have a threat for some tornado activity on Tuesday morning. So that's all I've got for you guys. We'll keep you posted on the latest. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll give you more regular posts on our Facebook page. Feel free to ask us questions. If you're nice, we'll be nice. But we're going to do our best with this ever-changing system, and don't be shocked if we continue to have some more twists in the plot. This is kind of like a suspense thriller. So we'll keep you guys posted on Tropical Storm Isaias. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and stay safe out there.